why Frank Casino so quiet? Look, this is something I really need to touch on because I think a lot of people kind of confuse the Frank Casino brand. And I would like to clear a couple of things, not on behalf of Frank, but on behalf of like the hip-hop community. So Frank goes in and out a lot, and most people feel like he's quiet. I remember when I watched an episode of the Popcast and also talking about how Frank is mad quiet and his career should have been here and there by now and that next level. And since he popped, he bought himself an A45, he's got the Benzo, he seems like he's just chilling and not doing much anymore, which is crazy for somebody with a small team, and also a little weird coming from a speedster, somebody that I deem to be, close to Frank. Well, not that close. Speedster said they're not that close, but a little close. The thing is, we almost always assume that artists want the same thing. We never think that the artist might be fine where they are and how they release their music, and whether they're quiet or not, or whether they decide to not perform or not. This is the case with Frank. The guy's a fourth quarter away. He moves mad quiet during the year, and he comes alive literally around September until the end of the summer. Look, you're gonna see him quite a lot in performances, but he's not gonna tweet about it because he's just not one of those social media guys. You're not gonna find him on Instagram either. The whole team is like that. Dals is engineer, producer, probably got 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 10 posts max on IG. They literally just sit on their stories and never really post anything on their timelines. Even have the manager, his manager that literally does everything for him, and he's probably the one guy that we all need to be managed by in the game right now because he's killing it. Look, the guy is a fourth quarter or he moves mad quiet during the year and comes alive literally around September. Going back to why he's quiet, this isn't a guess or something, and I want everybody to know this. This is something I heard from Frank himself. It's actually quite smart. He's creating a demand for his music the entire year and feeds that demand right when it's time to cash in the most, during the summer. Genius level, boys. Look, Frank is sharp. He's also managed by Havo, like I mentioned earlier, a solid manager that will hustle to get you on all the posters out there. To close it all off, but drive the point home, think about the record Sudden. He made it a year ago this time, but only dropped the video like 3 months ago. It was very, very clean, and more than just a video, it was a damn movie. You could hear the song was done a while back because Cass's verse was dated. Cass said I'm about to fill up my beater, kind of just racks with my feet up. And that already tells you that the verse was done last year, before December. And the video also dropped way after Fill Up 2. In his defense, the audio had already been out on his tape though, but again, Frank is a fourth quarter Owen, and he'd rather keep his music, and if he can, push it out just before the fourth quarter. We all know he literally sits in studio, the DJs knows. Speedsters also made mention on a podcast that he spoke to Frank, and Frank was like, yo, if you need me on something, I'm in the studio right now, this is the best time. He's also gone on record on an interview and said, yo, I'm a fourth quarter nigga. To also add and close off, he's got a small team, man, and he's Indian, so I don't blame him. He's got to do what he's got to do, and he really doesn't have a label behind him. And when you're not on a big label, some things are not really easy. So I really get why he does what he does, and I think he works with what he has and is really working out. So shout out Frank. Anyway, that's all I got. I'm out east.